just who are the most powerful beings in all of Dragon Ball. I'm not talking about physical strength. I'm talking about power that transcends that, a status that common mortals could probably never access. You may be thinking that the most powerful characters in Dragon Ball are martial artists, like Ultra Instinct Goku, Ultra Ego Vegeta, or Beast Gohan, and characters who wish to be the strongest in the universe, like Gas or Granola. But there's a reason why gods were excluded from that wish. Power isn't just about how many galaxies you could potentially destroy, but the authority and rank you hold throughout the multiverse. Today, we're going beyond the mortals and exploring the most powerful deities in all of Dragon Ball. Before I begin, I will mention that heroes and the like add many other gods, but for now, I'm going to stick to the closest thing we have to canon, whatever that means nowadays after Daima. But first, we need some backstory. Before the multiverse of Dragon Ball was even conceived, there was a whole separate domain known as the Demon Realm. Divided into 3 separate levels, it was once ruled by a good Supreme Demon King. Amongst these demons, there was one extremely powerful one named Rymus. The Demon King wanted to expand the realm, and so Rymus created 18 separate universes, and the demons began to spread throughout them. This is how a lot of races we know and love began, such as the Namekians, who originate from the demon realm. In fact, if a race has pointy ears, then more than likely they're descendant from demons, while others evolved and developed as years passed in their respective universes. Although the Demon King ordered this first act of creation, the universe does not answer to the demon realm, nor does it seem like Rymus does. The Demon Kings themselves aren't deities, and though some, like Dabura, are really strong, they aren't necessarily powerful without special artifacts, like the evil Third Eye. Abuda, the successor to the good Demon King, disagreed with the idea of the universes, and locked away the ability to travel outside of the demon realm, afraid of possible threats the outside universes could bring. Still, according to Daima, where Rymus was first introduced, he is still the highest authority in all of the universes. But this brings us to our next character, because as we look into other parts of the franchise, he isn't working alone. He has something of a counterpart in Lord Zeno. The true connection between Zeno and Rymus remains a mystery. Some believe, and I agree, that Zeno represents a counterbalance to Rymus's limitless power. That is to say, if Rymus is the architect of creation, then Zeno is the executor of destruction, a childlike entity with a playful nature but terrifying judgment. Such is the case that Zeno reduced the original 18 universes to just 12, both because of his anger and because he just thought there were too many universes. The remaining universes are now twins, for example, Universe 6 and 7 or Universes 1 and 12. While Zeno is extremely powerful, destroying whole universes in the blink of an eye, he actually isn't physically strong. Their power goes beyond simple ideas like that. Zeno even had a hard time keeping up with the battles displayed during the Tournament of Power, and Beerus mentions that he actually doesn't fight. His childlike nature makes him very curious. Like when he watched the tournament between Universe 6 and 7. He was so excited by the idea of warriors from 2 different universes fighting that he came up with the Tournament of Power. He had already decided that there were too many universes, and he was going to destroy some anyways. But the Tournament of Power made it more fun. Goku jumped at the idea of this, quickly becoming Zeno's one and only friend. He's one of the only people who isn't scared of Zeno, and it makes sense, they're kind of alike in their childlike nature. Zeno even gave Goku a button to call him anytime, which Goku ends up using in Future Trunks' timeline, so future Zeno could stop him from spreading everywhere, but he just destroyed everything instead. So Goku brought him back in time so him and his present counterpart could become friends, meaning we now have 2 Zenos. And if my theory about Rymus and Zeno is correct, then creation and destruction aren't exactly in balance right now. The 2 of them are the only beings in Dragon Ball who are truly immortal as far as we know. They cannot die and they cannot disappear, and we can assume that Rymus is similar in that way. The Zeno reside in a palace outside of the universes themselves, on a jellyfish-like structure with floating rocks surrounding the place, each one having one of the universes on top of them. Rymus and Zeno represent the highest authority in all of the Dragon Ball universes. But it is worth noting that older guides mention Akira Toriyama himself as the ultimate ruler of Dragon Ball. He is described as a far, far greater person person than even Kaioshin, noting that his likes include cars, bikes, plastic models, movies, dogs, and women, while his dislikes include rats, his job, and having his ideas rejected by his editor. It goes on to say that for over 10 years, he bravely battled against having his editor reject his ideas, a godly struggle of his own right. So, if you've enjoyed any Dragon Ball at all, you should be very thankful to him. Who knows, maybe he really is the one above Rymus and Zeno. But going back to the Omni King, directly serving under him are two attendants, which we know very little about. More importantly though, the Grand Priest, or the Grand Minister, is an angel who serves as the right hand of Zeno. Despite his calm and polite demeanor, he is one of the most powerful beings in all of existence. He is the father of all the angels, beings who serve the gods of destruction across the universes, whom I will get to soon. The Grand Priest's role is largely to advise Zeno, ensuring that the Omni King's will is carried out smoothly. So he often has many hats on, welcoming beings to the palace, serving as referee to the Tournament of Power, and checking in on general universal matters. His power is such that he can stop attacks from the gods of destruction with a single finger. He seems cold and detached, all while keeping a smile, which makes him a little creepy. But he does seem to care about his children and Zeno.
Dragon Ball Z will return in a moment.
You know, I wonder if those angels ever get spam calls through their staffs, because I surely do. Easily the most annoying thing in the universe, constantly telling me that my car insurance is about to expire. For the last time, I don't have a car. I can fly. Thankfully, ever since I signed up for Incogni, the sponsor of today's video, those calls have dropped. Sure, we may not be dealing with planet-eating wizards every day, but we do have to deal with spam, scams, and identity theft. We can't just blast them, can we? Data brokers collect your name, address, age, even what you're buying, and sell that information. The good news is, you can legally request to be removed from these lists. But with hundreds of brokers, it's a nightmare. That's where Incogni comes in. Incogni sends those requests for you. You sign up, give them permission to act on your behalf, and they push the data brokers to delete your information. I don't get any spam calls at all. I don't get any calls. And now they've got a custom removal tool. If you find a site that has your information, just submit the link, they'll review it, and handle it for you. So if you're tired of all that spam, then head to the link on screen, incogni.com/SmugStick, to get 60% off an annual plan. That's some divine level protection. And speaking of divine, let's go back to talking about the gods of destruction, and see how they stack up in the Dragon Ball universe.
Quiet, boy! Dragon Ball Z is next.
These three beings do not watch the universe alone. Each universe has its own team. In fact, you can look at it as a triad of gods: the Kaioshin, the gods of destruction, and the angels. When creating the universes, Rymus selected members of the Glint race to help rule over them. The Glint are demons from the second demon world, born from trees like acorns. These Glint would be crowned as the Kaioshin, or the Supreme Kai, the gods of creation. Rather than the Kaioshin making planets, they provide the impetus for them to be born, even dividing up individual planets to make more. But they do have the power to create life. The Kaioshin is immensely powerful, though not on the same level as other godly beings. Their role is not to interfere in mortal affairs, so they don't usually fight. Instead, their role is really to shape the universe, not to rule it. The demon realm trees from which they were born have all withered away and died, so the Glint that are alive right now are really the only ones that remain. Their race seems to be naturally divine to some degree, and they have many special abilities. Maybe their most famous one is the Kai Kai, a form of teleportation that doesn't rely on key sensing, unlike the instant transmission. They are also equipped with the Potara earrings, powerful artifacts that not only show their rank, but can also be used to fuse two beings into one single powerful warrior. A fusion between two Kais will last forever, unless it's undone by very specific circumstances, like the use of the Dragon Balls in Super, or the weird environment within Majin Buu, like in Daima. They also have access to the Time Rings, which they use to travel in time in order to observe events, though alterations to timelines that cause splinters end up creating additional green time rings. These gods also have special rituals to welcome someone into their ranks, or to unlock the potential of warriors. The former was mentioned by future Trunks in the manga, who underwent a ritual to become a Supreme Kai apprentice, gaining the ability to heal, while the latter was shown when Gohan in the present had his potential unlocked. One of their most interesting and forgotten abilities is being able to give up their own life to revive someone else. We've only seen this happen once, when the Elder Kai gave up his life so that Goku could return to the world of the living and help out against Majin Buu. Most of the universes are ruled over by a single Kaioshin, though some glint serve as attendants or Kaioshin in training. However, Supreme Kai do not rule alone. Each quadrant of their respective universe has a Kaio of a lower rank overseeing it. In older guidebooks, it's explained that though the Kaioshin do come from trees, just like we see in Daima, so do the lower Kais. The Kaioshin come from special golden fruit, and the rest from regular fruit, implying that characters like King Kai are glint. Like I mentioned before, the Supreme Kai are really strong, with Shin explaining that he could have easily defeated Frieza, but their strength pales in comparison to our next subject. Where there is creation, there also has to be destruction. Just as Rymus and Zeno balance each other, the gods of destruction serve a crucial role in maintaining equilibrium. Unlike the Kais, who were chosen by Rymus and inherit the role across generations, the gods of destruction are selected from amongst the population of the universe itself. They are meant to destroy worlds, allowing for new ones to be created. They are usually the strongest warrior in their respective universe, though some mortals have been shown to surpass them. While they don't have someone like the lower Kais helping them with their task, some do assign mortals to act as their agents of destruction, like Beerus working with Frieza and suggesting the destruction of planet Vegeta. The gods of destruction have their own powerful energy called Hakai, or destruction, which is able to completely wipe out something from existence, but it cannot destroy mortals. They also live in a realm outside of the living universe, and although they're supposed to be neutral, the gods of destruction are a lot more proactive in the universe, and are, at least in part, supposed to take care of universal threat. This is especially encouraged because of a secret connection between the Kaioshin and the god of destruction. Their life force is linked. If the Kai dies, then so does the god of destruction, and vice versa. This means that neither the Kaioshin nor the gods of destruction are immortal, despite their extremely long lifespans, and will eventually be replaced. The power of the gods of destruction is so insane that a battle between two of them could destroy the universe they stand inside. These gods of destruction are assisted by angels, a mystical race of extremely powerful beings, whose power goes even beyond the gods of destruction. Angels are immortal, but that doesn't mean that they can't be erased, and are often seen as even more detached than the gods. They're completely forbidden from interfering. In fact, if they use their power in a real battle outside of training, they run the risk of being eliminated from existence. It depends on the angel, but they generally show little care for what happens through the universe, and even to their own gods they serve. The angels act as both attendants and masters to the gods of destruction, helping them travel across the universe, master their destructive power, and more. If their god of destruction dies, then the angel becomes inactive and retreats back to their home realm, a place we've never seen. The angels also keep a lookout for potential future gods of destruction, like with Whis offering a job to Goku, who declines. It seems like all angels are masters of martial arts, most exemplified by their natural ability to always be in Ultra Instinct, something many gods of destruction can't even get close to. They also have stranger abilities, like being able to rewind time for a short period of time, as shown by Whis doing so when Frieza destroyed Earth. The angels are equipped with a staff they use for many things, including communication and fighting. They also have a halo around their neck. In a way, the triad of the angel, god of destruction, and Kaioshin is reflected in the gods above them, the Grand Priest, Zeno, and Rymus. And I may be pushing here, but 3 Saiyans have reflected this. Goku as the angel, with Ultra Instinct, Vegeta as the god of destruction, with Ultra Ego, and Gohan, who had his potential unlocked by the Elder Kai. Though future Trunks may be a slightly better example, as he was literally a Kaioshin apprentice for a brief period of time. Guides have also mentioned something called a Makaioshin, or Demon Supreme Kai, but we've never seen someone given that specific title, even in Daima and Heroes where some characters could potentially fit the description. The Makaioshin are described as Kais who were born from the tree with a rotten heart. Basically, they were just born evil, and so they were cast away into the demon realm, something that contradicts Daima since we know they were born in the demon realm. But anyways, Throughout every single universe, the Triad of destruction, creation, and neutrality is displayed. So let's delve deeper into every single universe. The god of destruction from Universe 1 is Iwan, a short and furry creature. It's worth noting that all of the gods and angels were designed by Toriyama and Toyotaro, splitting the work, with Iwan in particular being designed by Toyotaro. All of the gods of destruction and angels are also named after alcohol, with Iwan being named after wine. He is one of the best gods of destruction simply because of how good he is at his job. His universe has the highest mortal level of them all, going beyond a 7. Because of this, they were excluded from having to participate in the Tournament of Power. He has a brief fight against Arak and Liqueur prior to the Tournament of Power in order to test out the arena, which they accidentally destroy and have to clean up. We haven't seen him fight much, but in Heroes, he is given a blast attack called God of Destruction's Mercy. His description in the Dragon Ball Super website mentioned that he looks like Shiva, a major god in Hindu mythology, known as the god of destruction and rebirth. He's also mentioned as having strong emotions, despite his calm appearance. Also, so I don't have to mention it for every entry, all of the gods of destruction participated in a hide-and-seek tournament thousands of years ago, before the series even began. But Beerus fell asleep for 50 years and angered Zeno, which is why all of these gods don't like Beerus. Iwan's angel attendant and master is Awamo, a short and chubby angel. He is named after awamori, a drink from Okinawa, Japan. According to his profile on the website, his power is so high that he can understand everything, and he's described as having a Buddha-like appearance. The Kaioshin of the universe is Anato, who has a calm demeanor, though he doesn't really care for the lower universes. The twin to Universe 1 is Universe 12. The god of destruction of Universe 2 is Helis, the only female god of destruction. She is more humanoid than a lot of the other gods, and her name in some media and other languages is translated as Jerez instead, and is likely named after Helles, the German beer. She was designed by Toriyama and Toyotaro working together. She loves all things beautiful, and boasts about the power of love in Universe 2. Her love for beauty is shown as she specifically destroys ugly things, and considers herself the most beautiful of them all. She also seems to be one of the more empathetic gods of destruction, as the mere idea of Zeno destroying the other universes disgusts her, and she genuinely likes her team. But when the opportunity shows itself, she can throw all beauty talk out the window, like when she ordered her team to attack a worn-down Goku, who had just fought Kale. Because of her work, her universe is ranked as number 6 in overall mortal level. She has many male attendants in her planet, who all but worship her. When fighting, she uses a bow and arrow, which she used to damage Liqueur. Her angel attendant is Sour, named after the sour mix used in cocktails. His description also mentions him hating muscular bodies, but really liking intellect. The Kaioshin of the universe is Pale, an elder-looking Kai who, according to his bio, loves the women in his universe, and has also been training to get really fit. Their twin universe counterpart is Universe 11, which is appropriate since they both have two different kinds of superhero teams. The god of destruction of Universe 3 is Mule, a little demon-looking creature with horns. We don't actually see him much, because he's usually inside a mecha named Musco. They're named after Moscow Mule. He was designed by Toyotaro, and his mecha body seems to be based on the Dragon Ball GT villain Lord Ludd, who was also called a god of destruction back then. His universe is nearly entirely based on technology and artificial enhancements, so of course the god of destruction followed suit. His website description says that his intelligence is beyond mortals, and that he only speaks through robotic sounds, while inside his mech. In the manga, he is shown to be a grappler when fighting, using his mecha body to grab the other gods of destruction, and to blast them with his Cyclops eye. His angel is Kampari, and they seem to have a real bond together. Kampari has to always translate things Mule says while in his suit, and when their universe is raised, Mule shows his true body, and thanks Kampari for his help along the way. In the manga, he even lies to Zeno while translating for Mule, when he complains about the short notice of the Tournament of Power, lying to protect his god of destruction. Kampari is named after the alcohol of the same name. The Kaioshin of this universe is Ayer, a nerdy Kai who believes that mechanical beings are far superior to normal life forms. He was the one that seemed the most angry about the announcement of the Tournament of Power, and had a clear disdain for Goku and Zeno's choices. Universe 3 is ranked as number 7 in mortal level, and their twin universe is Universe 10. The Universe 4 god of destruction is Quitella, a short yellow mouse. He was designed by Toriyama and named after tequila. Him and Beerus are rivals, always at odds with each other. Get it? Because they're a cat and a mouse. What, it's obvious? Well, it took me a little too long to realize that. When we first meet him in the manga, he's playing video games and eating chips. He's also very cocky, and really doesn't care about anyone nor anything. He isn't scared of Zeno like the others, and he even sends out spies to collect information on other Tournament of Power teams. He plots to try and kill Goku and Frieza prior to the Tournament of Power by deceiving Sidra into believing that Beerus was planning on killing him. At some point, him and Beerus had an arm wrestling contest, which Quitella won, and they were the last two Gods of Destruction standing during their match in the manga, besides Belmont, who played dead the entire time. Despite his cocky attitude, when the time comes for his universe to be erased, he freaks out and threatens to kill everyone. His description mentions that he truly enjoys destruction. His angel is Cognac. His description mentions that he is very capable and insightful, acting as the guard dog of Universe 4. The Kaioshin is Kudu, an arrogant being who has a very clear view of how gods should act, and judges others harshly. He has an old-fashioned manner of speaking, and though he seems to be cool with his god of destruction, he does worry that spying on Universe 7 is gonna get them in trouble. Universe 4 is ranked as number 9 in mortal level, and their twin universe is Universe 9. Adak is the god of destruction of Universe 5. Interestingly enough, he's the one god of destruction who really thinks thoroughly and investigates each planet to determine exactly what to destroy, limiting destruction to the absolute minimum in order to expand. He actually values and respects the lives he destroys, and constantly trains himself to become a better god of destruction. Adak was designed by Toyotaro and named after a spirit drink from Lebanon of the same name. His angel is Cocktail, an angel who, weirdly enough, is described as being female in their website profile. Angels are technically genderless, as are Kais, but they can be female or male presenting. Like Vados, for example. She's named after regular old Cocktail, and she's described as always actively learning from her god of destruction and Kai. Their Kaioshin is Ogma, a gentle god who values the balance between intelligence and power. Because of their efforts, Universe 5 is the third highest mortal level, and their twin universe is Universe 8. The god of destruction of Universe 6 is Champa, the twin brother of Beerus. Like his brother, he's powerful, destructive, and short-tempered, but Champa takes that to an extreme. He's very emotional, petty, and very immature. He's lazy and doesn't train, which Vados makes fun of him for. Despite being twin brothers, Champa and Beerus have a bitter rivalry. He's especially jealous because of Universe 7's Earth and its delicious food, as his Earth had become a barren wasteland. Thus, he challenged Beerus to a tournament for the sake of it. The Tournament of Destroyers saw their teams of 5 battle each other, ending in an epic match between Goku and the assassin Hit. Goku gave up because Hit couldn't go all out, and Hit himself jumped off the arena during his match against Monaka, giving the victory to Universe 7. Despite this, Champa does seem to care about some of his warriors, and at the very least, his brother cares about him. When Universe 6 is erased during the Tournament of Power, he mocks Beerus before he disappears, but when he's revived in the end, he assumes that Beerus was the one to make the wish to bring them back, and he is of course named after Champagne. Champa's angel is Vados, one of the most powerful and composed angels in the multiverse. She's Beerus' angel, Whis' older sister, and much like Whis, she's calm and snarky, and maybe even stronger than him. She often mocks Champa for his incompetence, but with a weird, kind of tongue-in-cheek love. She is named after Calvados, a brandy from France. The Kaioshin of Universe 6 is Fuwa, who was very surprised to see Goku enjoy the battles against Hit. He also has an attendant, similar to how Shin has Kibito. Universe 6 is ranked as number 10 in mortal level, and their twin universe, of course, is Universe 7. The god of destruction of Universe 7 is Beerus, the one who started it all, for us and Goku. Introduced in Battle of Gods, Beerus completely redefined the power ceiling of Dragon Ball, and opened the door for a whole multiverse of divine beings. Beerus is a cat-like deity inspired by Toriyama's own cat, and as a cat, he's sleepy, unpredictable, and destructive. He can go from napping to vaporizing a planet without much warning. But he's not really evil, he's just doing his job. And despite his detachment, he's actually become quite fond of a lot of mortals, especially Goku and Vegeta, and their Earthling food. He's the one who wipes out the dinosaurs, although it doesn't seem like he did a very good job. He also authorized the destruction of planet Vegeta, locked away the old Kai in the Sea Sword, and blew up half of King Kai's planet when losing a game. Beerus woke up from his slumber after a premonition of the super Saiyan God, a legend Goku and Vegeta would both eventually reach. He was so impressed by Goku's performance when he battled him that he spared Earth. He also cares about his brother, wishing for a new planet Earth for him and being sad by his erasure. He also has a thing for Sheila, letting her, Broly, and Lemmo stay on his planet, where Frieza can't find them. In the manga, Beerus has an imperfect version of Ultra Instinct, and he is shown to be one of the strongest gods of destruction. Him and Quitella are the last two standing in the match prior to the Tournament of Power. Although, did you know that he was originally conceived as a lizard who infected beings, named Virus? Once Toriyama got involved in Battle of Gods, he completely redesigned him, thinking that he was actually named after Beer, thus Beerus. All of the other gods of destruction would follow suit. Beerus is accompanied by Whis, his angel attendant and martial arts master. Whis is one of the most beloved characters in modern Dragon Ball, thanks to his calm demeanor, high-class personality, and absurd power level. After Vegeta's request to train him, and some good food, Whis agreed to train both him and Goku, coaching them to achieve Super Saiyan Blue. Since then, Goku has gravitated more towards Whis' methods, and Vegeta towards Beerus's. Although he does act in neutrality, he clearly cares about Goku and the others. At Beerus' request, he revived Frieza as a reward for his contributions at the Tournament of Power, and turned back time, so he's not necessarily above getting involved. Beerus and Whis share a huge love for food, which they bond over. They are sometimes at odds and tease each other, but are in reality great friends. His name comes from whiskey. Universe 7 is a special case as far as Kaioshin goes, because we've had a lot more than just one at a time. During the original Kid Buu Rampage, 5 Kaioshin were active in Universe 7. The top one was the Grand Kaioshin, a very kind being who gave up most of his godly power to take away the magic of the evil wizard Moro. Then there was the North Supreme Kai, an older Kaioshin who wields a sword in the anime, the South Supreme Kai, the physically strongest of them, the West Supreme Kai, a female Kai, and the final, youngest, and at the time weakest Kai of the bunch, the East Kaioshin. All of the Kais except for the East were taken down by Majin Buu, with the South and Grand Kai being absorbed. The Grand Kaioshin gave up his life so the East could live, changing the nature of Majin Buu into one of a playful, childlike being. Buu was sealed and sent to Earth by Bibidi. That's when Shin took his chance and killed the wizard. But of course, thousands of years later, his son, Babidi, would return to free Buu, and Shin would need the help of Goku and the others to take care of him. And the East Kaioshin became the one and only Supreme Kai of Universe 7. Though, technically, the Grand Kaioshin lives on within Majin Buu. Shin is a kind-hearted and oftentimes neurotic Supreme Kai. He didn't usually intervene in mortal affairs, but ever since the Buu arc, he has been dragged into problems by Goku and his friends over and over again. He does try his best, especially during the Majin Buu conflict, even if he's not always the most competent. He does care deeply about the balance of the universe, and when push comes to shove, Shin puts himself on the line, like when he stood up against Majin Buu. Still, Beerus blames him for letting mortals grow on their own, rather than inciting the development of life. Shin has one attendant, named Kibito, who very much isn't a fan of mortals. The two fused using the Potara earrings towards the end of the Buu arc, and remained fused until Daima, where they get Majin Buu's help to defuse. Though an alternate version of how they defused is also shown in Super, with the Namekian Dragon Balls. Recently, we also found out that his real name is Nahare, and that he has 2 siblings, Degesu and Arinsu, glint who've decided to stay in the Demon Realm, and both attempt to take over. Universe 7 has one more Kaioshin, though he's no longer the authority he used to be. He is the old Kai, the Supreme Kai of generations ago. He used to look like any other young Kai, but an encounter with a witch, where she stole one of his Potara earrings and put it on, forcefully fused them together into a whole new being. He used to be the one linked to Beerus, but the God of Destruction locked him away in the Sea Sword long ago. Much later, Goku and Gohan broke the sword, freeing the old Kai. He's pretty perverted, but extremely wise, and believes that Goku, his friends, and the Dragon Balls are always messing with the natural order of things. Still, he gave up his life so Goku could live on, and unlock the potential of Gohan after Goku promised him that he could touch Bulma's boobs. Universe 7 is ranked as number 11 prior to the Tournament of Power, and ranked up to number 10 afterwards. As mentioned before, their twin universe is Universe 6. The god of destruction of Universe 8 is Liqueur, a three-tailed fox with orange fur. He's able to grow up to 9 tails to use during fighting. Liqueur was designed by Toyotaro, and named after Liqueur, obviously. He's extremely proud of his position and power, killing beings lower than himself. He also doesn't really trust his Kaioshin, Iru, always trying to eliminate the flaws in his plan, while refusing to acknowledge the flaws in his own plans. He loves fighting, suggesting the battles against Iwan and Arak at the Tournament of Power Arena, while in the manga, he uses his nine-tailed form to blast Belmont. Liqueur's angel is Korn, a very assertive angel who truly believes in his opinions, and will make them very clear. He was designed by Toriyama, and is named after the German corn drink. Iru is the Kaioshin of Universe 8. He's very passionate about his job, and always making plans. Universe 8 is the 4th highest ranked universe, and was also exempt from the Tournament of Power. Its twin universe is number 5. Sidra is the god of destruction of Universe 9. He was designed by Toriyama, and is named after the Spanish word for cider. Sidra is a very passive god of destruction compared to a lot of the other ones. His Supreme Kai is a lot more boisterous than him in comparison. If anything, he seems to be the one in charge. Still, Sidra is like weirdly emotional. In the manga, he looks like he's about to cry when it comes time to destroy a planet. He Hakai's an entire city when the trio of the Dangers tell him that they haven't recruited too many people. All in all, this god of destruction is, beta, for lack of a better word. He also seems kind of easy to push around, since Quitella lied to him, saying that Universe 7 was plotting to kill him. Panicked, Sidra agreed to send assassins to take out Goku and Frieza, a plan that obviously failed. He even handed the assassin a fragment of destruction energy, which was taken by Frieza and used on Goku, before it was blown up by Beerus. Even Ro commented that Frieza was more of a god of destruction than Sidra is. But in combat, Sidra isn't necessarily useless. In the manga, when Beerus launched a powerful blast against several gods, Sidra was fast enough to raise a barrier in order to shield himself and others, right before being kicked away by Belmont. His relationship with his Supreme Kai, Ro, is the reverse of what we usually see. Ro is the dominant personality. He's conniving, smug, rude, and always makes fun of the other universes. Mojito is the angel of Universe 9. He's very smart, but while most angels are calm and neutral, Mojito is a little eerie, giving a soft smile when his universe was erased, which led to a bunch of theories about him being evil. He is said to be annoyed by his god of destruction and Kaioshin's incompetence. Because of all of this, Universe 9 has the lowest mortal level at 12th place, and their twin universe is Universe 4. Universe 10 is one of the most prominent universes outside of Universe 7. Its god of destruction is Rumshi. He was designed by Toyotaro, and his name comes from rum. He likes being praised for his status even if he's lazy and doesn't like destroying planets, finding it to be an annoying task. He has the strongest lungs in all the universes, using his divine roar to paralyze the gods of destruction. His angel is Kuzu, the oldest of the angel children. She's an innocent angel fascinated by physical strength, and encourages the god of destruction and Kai to really distinguish between good and evil, but can't help but get excited when those two conflicting sides clash, dancing in excitement. She cares about her universe and gods deeply, and is named after Kuzu, aged Awamori. The Kaioshin of Universe 10 is Gowazu, a wise Supreme Kai who values life, history, and the balance of the cosmos. Unlike some of his counterparts, Gowazu is a lot more philosophical. He took on an ambitious apprentice, Zamazu, who served as North Kai of Universe 10. Gowazu saw great potential in Zamazu, but this would be a huge mistake. Hoping to help Zamazu understand mortals and their role in the universe, Gowazu used the time rings to take him to the past, letting him observe mortals. But this only confirmed Zamazu's worst fears. Mortals were nothing but violent and barbaric. He began to question the purpose of the gods, and the role of mortals in the universe. If they keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again, then what's the point of them? His obsession with this warped sense of justice culminated in the Zero Mortals plan. After watching the battle between Goku and Hit, Zamasu realized that Goku could be what he needed to begin his plan, detesting how a mortal could become so strong as to reach the realm of the gods. Zamasu stole Goku's body in an alternate alternate timeline using the Super Dragon Balls, and recruited a different version of himself after killing his Gowazu. Together, they chose future Trunks' timeline, as it was the one timeline where Beerus and Shin were dead. They killed every single Kaioshin in every universe, thus killing the Gods of Destruction. Their plans were eventually thwarted by Trunks, Goku, and Vegeta. The Zamasu were forced to merge with each other. Eventually, Shin and Gowazu also showed up to help. Gowazu blamed himself for the fall of his student. In the end, Trunks defeated the immortal Zamasu, but his evil presence began to spread throughout all the universes, and Zeno was needed to end him once and for all. Universe 10 is ranked as number 8 in mortal level, with their twin universe being number 3. The God of Destruction of Universe 11 is Belmont, designed by Toriyama and Toyotaro together. Belmont is a God of Destruction who truly believes in justice, working together with the Pride Troopers, a group of superheroes whom he was once a part of. He was also friends with Jiren's master prior to his death. Belmont can be cold and calculative, but he's also a trickster. During the God of Destruction match in the manga, Belmont uses energy spheres to trap the others, and shoot out playing cards filled with ki, only to just pretend to be dead for the rest of the match. In the anime, Whis claims that Belmont is stronger than Beerus, but Beerus says that's only because of an arm wrestling contest. Belmont is one of the strongest Gods of Destruction, but even he himself admits that he's no match for Jiren, the strongest mortal in his universe. He does not tolerate evil. Still, he has his own vices, like an entourage of beautiful clown girls who serve him on his planet. Belmont is named after vermouth, an Italian fortified wine, and he has a close working relationship with his Kaioshin and Angel. Belmont is one of the few Gods of Destruction to already have a successor lined up, in Toppo, a powerful Pride Trooper who believes in order, justice, and teamwork. But when he's pushed to the brink with his back against the wall, he has to choose between his ideals and the God of Destruction power. Thus, his morality changes as his aura shifts, and declares that justice is meaningless. This transformation is what Belmont and Margarita had been preparing him for, but it's still not enough. Toppo is ultimately defeated by Vegeta, who rejects the idea that power should come at a cost of who you are. Margarita is Belmont's angel, and often very critical of both him and Kai for not being strict enough. Her and Belmont are a reference to Joker and Harley Quinn. She's very proud of her universe, and especially of Toppo and his performance in the Tournament of Power. She has a pretty exaggerated, polite manner of speaking, and of course, she's named after margaritas, which I could go for right now. Meanwhile, Kai is the Supreme Kai. He's very positive and always tries to see the light side of things. He takes the initiative to get the other Kais together, excluding Shin, to convince Zeno to not destroy the universes, but to no avail. The three of them are very proud of the Pride Troopers, and look down at the other teams, specifically Goku's initial use of Ultra Instinct.
With his incomplete Ultra Instinct, all he's doing is delaying the inevitable.
Universe 11 is ranked as number 5 in mortal ranking, and its twin universe is Universe 2. Jin is the God of Destruction of Universe 12, designed by Toyotaro. He's a reptilian, fish-looking creature, and certainly imposing. He is one of the most proactive Gods of Destruction, doing his job so well that there's nothing left for him to destroy in his own universe. He's grown bored, so he was actually excited to watch the tournament fights, especially since his own universe was exempt from participation. He is named after Jin. His angel is Martinu. Because her God of Destruction is good at his job, she has little to worry about, and her next goal is pushing her universe to the number 1 spot. She is named after Martini. Then there's the Kaioshin, Agu. He is a round little Kai that looks like an onion and has a big nose. He speaks in a virtuous tone, and hoped that the Tournament of Power would give him a hint as to how to advance the universe forward. Universe 12 is one of the few universes where mortals have created time travel. They are ranked as number 2 in mortal ranking, and their twin counterpart is Universe 1. With Universe 12, we've explored all of the known universes and their divine hierarchies, at least the higher gods. But not all the power lies within these 12 realms. For example, Neva is probably the closest thing the demon realm currently has to a god, and he's not really a god, but I thought he was worth mentioning just because of how impressive he is. On the surface, he looks like a fragile, senile old Namekian, but Neva might be the most powerful magic user we've ever seen in Dragon Ball history. Long ago, Neva created the Dragon Balls of the Demon Realm, scattering them across all 3 regions as sacred tools, meant to be earned by courageous demons. But as time passed, evil demons enslaved his people and twisted the Dragon Balls to their own desires. In order to safeguard the Dragon Balls, Neva created the Tamagami, guardians with powers so immense that no one has been able to make a wish in generations. He also placed an impenetrable barrier between the 3 levels of the demon realm to protect the more vulnerable demons from those who sought to terrorize them, making unauthorized travel impossible. He had no authority to do anything like this. He just did it to protect his people, and only he could take down the barriers. Neva chose to stay behind in the demon realm, even as the rest of the Namekians fled to the outside universes, escaping the violence and oppression. As a result, Neva spent over 1,000 years without seeing a single Namekian, waiting for them to return. While he often presents himself as forgetful and harmless, Neva's bumbling persona is partly an act, kinda like Yoda when Luke first meets him. When he finally meets Goku and the others in Daima, he's quickly able to see through their intentions, and his true power becomes clear. He doesn't just sense the Dragon Balls across the planet, he's able to sense the Dragon Balls even when they're inactive, and restores their energy prematurely, despite them not being his set. Thanks to Nao's memories, Piccolo knows about him, and says that he's a legend, saying that no other Namekian could replicate what Neva can do. He even draws out Goku's power, allowing him to push into Super Saiyan 4 while still in child form. He can also boost the power of other beings, specifically his own creations, giving the Z-Fighters a real challenge. He did work alongside the Demon King Goma to turn those who defeated Majin Buu into kids, in exchange for an extension to his life. But that doesn't mean he's really evil. He's just complex, lonely, and smelly. In the end, Neva is chosen by Majin Ku, the new Demon King, as one of his ministers. I also touched on them briefly, but Shin's siblings are Arinsu and Degesu. They aren't Kaioshin, nor even gods at all. Even so, their race seems to be naturally divine in a sense, so they're worth discussing. Degesu is the younger brother of Shin, or Nahare. Unlike his brother, Degesu has no patience for mortals, no love for life, and no real wisdom either, but he is ambitious. Degesu serves under Goma, the newly crowned Supreme Demon King of Daima. Like I mentioned before, they turned all the Z-Fighters into children. Degesu even kidnaps Dende in order to prevent the Dragon Balls from ever being used again. But as the Dragon Team enters the first Demon Realm, Degesu starts to panic, holding baby Dende at gunpoint and declaring that he will overthrow Goma, a plan that lasts like 5 seconds before he's hit by a hat and knocked out by Piccolo. He's sealed in a jar with Goma, where the two of them will spend the next 99 years playing video games together. Someone that is more competent than him is Dr. Arinsu. She's a witch and a scientist, whose plan is also to take over the demon realm, and was there during the battles against Majin Buu, taking bits of his body to create her own version. She also hired a spy, Glorio, to accompany Goku and secretly gather the demon realm Dragon Balls. Alongside the witch Marba, they create Ku and Du, two beings based off of Majin Buu and Cyberman seeds. When Goma used the evil third eye, even Arinsu recognized the danger, becoming temporary allies with the heroes. She even gets a chance to take over the demon realm, but instead of making her wish, Glorio just wishes to restore everyone back to their normal age. Despite the betrayal, Arinsu lets him go, because she seems to actually have a good heart, especially towards her creations, becoming something of a family. She also directs Ku to retrieve the book that reveals the evil third eye's weakness, helping Goku and the others finally bring Goma down. She was even offered the throne of the demon realm, but turned it down. Instead, her creation was crowned as Supreme Demon King, and she became the Vice Supreme Demon King. Again, neither Arinsu nor Degesu are gods, but they're from a divine race, similar to what you would call a Demon Supreme Kai. And it makes me wonder, since there's no more glint trees out there, if one of the current Kaioshin were to die, would Degesu or Arinsu replace them? Going back to the outer universes, although Neva was the creator of the original Dragon Balls, quote-unquote, we've also heard of a separate creator of the original Dragon Balls. It gets a little confusing because they've both been said to be the creator of the first set, but since the Demon Realm came first, and the Super Dragon Balls are in the outer universes, I can assume that he was meant as the creator of the first Dragon Balls outside of the Demon Realm. Zalama is the Dragon God, an extremely powerful sorcerer whom we know very little about. In the 41st year of the Divine Calendar, Zalama forged the Super Dragon Balls, planet-sized wish-granting orbs with a circumference of nearly 37,000 kilometers. They scatter across universes 6 and 7 and are able to grant any wish. He also patented the visual technology used in the orbs, so the star mark within them looks the same from every angle. We don't know much else about him, nor his relationship to Neva if there is any, but it has been said that his Dragon Balls were used as the basis for the Namekian Dragon Balls of Universe 6. I also want to point out that since the Super Dragon Balls are active, and they usually turn to stone if their creator dies, then maybe Zalama is out there somewhere. We also discussed all the angels except for one glaring omission: Beerus. Beerus looks like your average galactic patroller, yet he's anything but that. He's actually an angel, originally sent to Universe 7 by the Grand Priest. Beerus' assignment was to live amongst mortals and learn from them, but what wasn't expected was for him to start caring. Beerus ended up working for the Galactic Patrol as their #1 agent, always operating under the strict limitation of never using his angel powers. And slowly over time, as he brought about justice, he fell in love with the universe. When Moro, the planet-devouring wizard, broke out of the galactic prison, Beerus went to Earth to get Majin Buu, as the Grand Supreme Kai lives within him. He was able to take down Goku and Vegeta easily when they tried to stop him, and they eventually agreed to become honorary Galactic Patrollers. Beerus also took Goku to the time chamber of the Galactic Patrol, helping him refine his Ultra Instinct. He found Goku to be a very interesting person, and because of all of this, he got in trouble. Whis pulled them out of the time chamber and sent him to the Grand Priest. But while Goku was fighting Moro, with his back against the wall, Beerus once again intervened, fighting Moro and buying Goku time. He was forced to use his real strength, and Beerus vanished, leaving Goku with a message to protect the universe he'd grown to love. Goku was finally able to make that next step of Ultra Instinct, and defeated Moro. To everyone's surprise, Beerus returned after the battles, not as an angel, but as a mortal. The Kaioshin of Universe 7 had asked the Grand Priest to bring him back, admiring his bravery. Definitely one of my favorite gods in all of Dragon Ball. In Dragon Ball Online, an MMO supervised by Akira Toriyama, we were first introduced to the concept of the Kaioshin of Time, a being who was pissed off at Trunks for messing up with the timeline, and brought him in as her assistant to work at the Galactic Patrol. Of course, in Heroes and Xenoverse, this was revealed to be Cronoa. I said I didn't want to touch too much in this expanded lore, especially since Heroes and Xenoverse have a pretty complicated history, but she was created by Toriyama, so I at least wanted to mention her. Dragon Ball loves reintroducing ideas from the expanded lore, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw her again one day. Cronoa is one of the oldest gods in Dragon Ball. She's the guardian of time itself and oversees the proper flow of history from within the time nest. There's also Toki Toki, a small bird who can create timelines. Across the 12 universes and beyond them, Dragon Ball's divine hierarchy is often strange and filled with mysteries. It always feels like it's expanding more and more. From ancient demons who build reality, childlike kings who erase it, and angels who watch it quietly unfold. Power can be defined in many different ways by them, which is an interesting aspect of the series, especially because when we say power, we usually mean who can punch or destroy things the most. But one of my favorite things about gods in Dragon Ball is that none of them are flawless. They're all weird, inept, they have their vices, insecurities, and more. But that's what makes them interesting and special. Whether it's Zamasu trying to destroy every single mortal, or Mira's giving up his own immortality to protect the fragile lives he grew to love. What makes these beings powerful isn't just what they can do, but what they decide to do. And maybe that's really what makes them divine. There's a lot more to explore, but I wanted this video to specifically focus on the higher cosmic and mystical gods, which rule over everything, beyond just King Kai. Speaking of which, there are many lower gods, like Kami, King Yama, etc., and the gods outside of canon, but I'll save those for another time. Don't forget to hakai that subscribe button, and if you're looking for more videos about the history of Dragon Ball, be sure to check out my video on the entire story of the Frieza Force.